Hey everybody, welcome to Podcast Demastered. I'm your host, Ethan Meyer, and I'm joined, as always, by my two very good friends, Chelsea and Wade. And today we're going to be talking about Mr. Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, because that happened, this past Thursday as of this recording. So It's basically, if you guys are unaware, it's basically the Oscars for video games.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. They definitely tried to match the Oscars in terms of length. I'm pretty sure the Game Awards was at least 7.5 hours long this year, it felt like.
Yeah, I physically aged during that show.
Yes.
I guess for better and worse, did not catch it live, but you two did. Tell me about what you guys thought, having sat through the whole thing from beginning to end.
For the most part, it was fine. Every year, the Game Awards for a little bit have just gotten kind of bigger and bigger every year in terms of developer participation and the use of the word world premiere and everything else. So it's good. I'm glad they have it. I'm glad Jeffrey has, he's reached for the stars and touched the sky. So, he gets to do something pretty cool with that. But you could summarize all the actual awards in about 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 hours and 45 minutes of trailers and ads.
Yeah, it's
felt like there were a lot of ads this year.
It's definitely pretty commercial. I feel like ever since, because the Game Awards was on Spike TV initially, wasn't it? When it was broadcast on cable, I think it was a Spike TV joint. And even watching then, it still was that's where you want to go post E3 to get some of these new game announcements and premiere trailers and stuff like that. So they've definitely upped the ante and kept that afloat. That's kind of, I feel like that's part of the reason why they get so many viewership every year, because that keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't know what the numbers were for this year's, but they put out that infographic I think after last year's Game Awards, and it was leagues above viewership for the Oscars. So
right. Well, whenever the Video Game Awards started, it was just here's the awards show. Yeah. And there might be a trailer at the beginning and there might be a trailer at the end. But, when they started it and everybody was just no. Not terribly engaging. Yeah. So then after that, they're oh, well, we have to basically bribe people to watch the Game Awards. Because if it was just the awards, I wouldn't watch it because I don't particularly care. The opinion of some people don't really matter to me as a gamer. Because I'm gonna continue to play what I want to play anyway.
Yeah, there's that's kind of for I guess any award show, because it's I stopped watching the Oscars years ago for that exact reason, because I'm just whatever, I like these movies, the elitist critics are not, and it's never gonna win, so I don't give a shit. I still love it, you know what I mean? And that's, yeah, you can say that for,
for things
besides People's Choice Awards.
For things like film, though, I feel like it means a lot more. But for video games, I don't know. I don't really feel like it has a ton of weight.
Well, it's also with film, you're talking about a tradition that's 90 years old at this point.
Right.
And for games, it's still a fairly young industry compared to music and film and theater and even TV. So it's definitely the new kid on the block. It definitely means a lot for industry and the people within that industry. But just general casual fans, it's kind of just if they have if they played a certain game, I really like this game, and then it's oh, it's up for Game of the Year, that's cool. And there's hot takes abound and opinions and all that stuff, but I definitely don't think there's a lot of fervor for the subjectivity and everything.
Yeah. I think that the Game Awards, I think the idea is really great though, to allow that recognition for video games and to have a place like that, because you know there obviously is a place, like you just said, for the Oscars and everything. But yeah, definitely I don't think everybody needs to be like, oh, this is the ultimate game because they said it is, or anything like that. That's what, you know. But it's always interesting to see in these competitions and, you know, like these awards shows, like what wins and stuff, and then to talk about it. Or
the one thing I do like about the Game Awards is it is like the panel of judges involved for at least all of the games, not necessarily the esports component, but the games is basically just like an amalgamation of all different like media outlets and journalists and all the, you know, and critics across. So it is sort of like an aggregate of like all of like games journalism and games like critics and reviewers and stuff like that kind of coming together and be like, hey, we're all in consensus, right? This was the coolest game this year, or this, you know. So it is kind of throughout the course of the year, you may have like your one outlet that you like, you know, your Polygon or your Giant Bomb or your IGN or whoever. But then at the end of the year, it's just like a collective hive thought for each of these categories. And I always thought that was like kind of cool. And I think they need to keep that going just because it is a more general consensus for these titles.
yeah, that's cool.
Even just for the nominations, you know, like not necessarily just the winners, but like the games that get nominated. Like it's just kind of like, hey, these 5 games are dope and you should go play them. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Game Awards pretty cool and getting better.
One thing that's interesting about the Game Awards is that, you know, it kind of hyped up like, oh, there's a pre-show and then the main show. But let's be real, that whole pre-show was the show. They still gave out all the, like, parts of the awards during that and still had world premieres. So it's basically the show.
Yeah, I was getting updates on my phone like during I didn't watch the pre-show. I was just getting constant updates about like trailers and awards that were given during the pre-show, and I was like, and I panicked for a second. I was like, oh my god, it started, and I was like, no, it's still the pre-show. So okay,
but yeah, I mean, I watched it, but it was basically, it just, you know, it wasn't Jeff Keighley. It was just, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but she was
yeah,
the one who was doing the awards and everything.
It was not Jeff Keighley.
Yes. But it was still, I'm like, it's still the show.
Yeah.
It was still parts of it, but
yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't really understand the point of the whole pre-show, because didn't he do that same thing with Summer Games Fest? And they have they have a pre-show for that too. Like I don't know what for something that's a streamed thing, like I don't really know the point of a pre-show if you're still just going to be doing the same things that you're doing during the actual show. Like in my mind, a pre-show is like maybe doing like some like interview stuff or talking with the creator, like that kind of stuff to kind of just, you know, more long form content, I guess, while people are getting settled in and ready for the actual main event. But
it's
if
like
you're
the red carpet.
Yeah. But if your pre-show is just fucking giving out awards and showing premieres, and it's just like, all right, the main show's going, we're gonna give out awards and show premieres. It's like, what the hell's what's the difference?
Yeah, that's strange.
Do you guys think since you guys watched it live, do you guys think, did it feel bloated? Did you guys start to wane in like interest towards the end of it? Did you feel like it could have been cut in half, or how are your thoughts on like actual length itself?
So long.
I felt it was long. Like there was, I mean, I said there were ads because there were ads. There were trailers and whatnot for stuff that has been out for a while. So it's like, why are we watching a 2.5 minute thing on this game? Go away. And I don't know. It's just like they could have scaled it down quite a bit. Last year, I don't think it was quite as long.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely getting, like, with every year it just keeps getting bigger. I don't know what their apex is, but I feel like this may have been like a pretty good stopping point in terms of length. Like maybe trim some of the fat, maybe get rid of the pre-show. I don't know. Because anytime you have something that long, you're definitely going to lose viewers towards the end, especially when it's during the week. It's a Thursday, so it's a school night, it's a work night, it's this, that, and the other. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely very, very long, definitely too long, and I was kind of getting bored, like, towards the end. I thought it was kind of losing steam, and I'm just like, what am I waiting for? Is what's happening next type thing.
Right.
And, well, it's also interesting, too, because, some of the awards, they let the people actually go up there and give a brief speech, but then a couple of them, they just, like, blow right through them, and it was very weird. But they chose to be like, oh, this one also won this award, and oh, here's the winner of this. Moving on.
Those are, I don't know. That's kind of weird because they also do the same thing with other award shows, like, where it's just kind of like, we know this category isn't the meat and potatoes, so
this isn't important, so we'll
so you
just
get two sentences and get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
freaking rude.
Yeah.
Freaking rude.
It's like when you watch the Oscars and it's like best costume designer and they like do that in a commercial break, like so stuff like that.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's talent everywhere. You need to, if you're gonna recognize them, then at least give them a little chance too.
Yeah, that's
Instead, we got lots of ads and everything, and
that's my thing. If you're gonna have the category, then you should give it equal attention. Otherwise, just don't even have the category for consideration.
Yeah.
If you only want to like give pomp and circumstance to game of the year and like best action game and stuff and most anticipated, then just have those and don't have all the more technical categories. So
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that being said, I say we kind of just blaze through some of these some of the categories here. There were some duplicate winners here, like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, won Best Indie and Best Debut Indie, which was cool. I don't remember what all the nominees were, so I'm not going to, unless you guys have that. I don't have that in front of me, so I just have the winners.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
If you didn't win, you lost.
Aww. Tragic.
Best Sim Strategy, Age of Empires 4. That series definitely had a resurgence. Like, it's been dormant for like 10, 15 years. So to see that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Best RPG, Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
Have you played that, Wade?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I got it.
I have not. I heard nothing but good things, but I have not. I don't think I've played any
fun.
of the Tales of games.
They're RPG, but they're more like anime RPG.
Yeah.
So since some people are not about the anime stuff, but it's a fun game. I haven't beat it yet. It's like the conversation we had earlier about like I'm really good at starting these games and I can't finish them. I like it so far a lot. I just haven't gotten the time to go back into it. But no, it's fine. It's great.
Yeah. Speaking of that, also, your Final Fantasy won best. Was it best ongoing or whatever?
Yeah.
So basically best MMO, essentially.
There's lots of people complaining online about that though. They were like, "How did Final Fantasy win when Fortnite is right there?"
Yeah.
Well, sorry about that. Don't know what to tell you there.
I would say
surely we'll be
I would
fine.
say Fortnite is maybe the most intriguing game ever. Just because I don't really know what it is, and it's constantly evolving all the time. Like, I don't know if it's like a chat room now. Like, Fortnite is the chat roulette for this new generation. Like, I don't know what the fuck Fortnite is anymore. I feel like it's a social experiment now. So, if there was a category for like most confusing game, give it to Fortnite. Best action adventure, Metroid Dread. Best action game, Returnal. Best score music, Wade, this is no one in your realm. Near Replicant version.
I was screaming about it.
Yeah.
Well, I was glad that it won over some of the others. Like, I get why Guardians of the Galaxy was on there, but the music in that game is not original.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't get about Guardians, because it's just like a playlist. It's just curated
Yeah.
80s music.
Well, I was
So-
really worried that it was going to win. Not that I love that game so far. I'm having a great time playing it. But
Yeah,
I didn't. If it beat out any other game, I would have been like, eh. But I am really glad that Nier won, because Nier is known for its music.
yeah.
Like, I beat Nier Automata like 2 years ago. Yeah, it was like the first game I played during the big quarantine part of the pandemic.
Right.
And like I'm still like altered because of the music alone. So like I'm so happy that Nier at least got that, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, if something's gonna win best score music, it should be a game that actually scored their music, like made original music.
Right.
Because you see this in film. You know, you have the like best screenplay and then best adapted screenplay. They should do the same thing here, where it should be like best music and then best like playlist. You know,
Right.
best curation of music.
Agreed.
Because there is a guy on staff that just sits there and just scours through music and tries to curate it to fit the tone, and that's great. And I'm sure that's a hard job, but I don't think it is the same as someone who's actually creating music. So
Right.
best art direction, your all's favorite game, Deathloop.
That one upset me a little bit. That it won art direction, because like I can't say that the game's not pretty or has like a consistent theme or something like that. But everything that I've seen, like in the 16 trillion teasers and everything that's come out, it all looks the same.
Okay, I'm gonna go off on a limb here. Can I assume you guys hate Deathloop because it was over marketed
Mostly.
and shoved in our face for like I feel like for like 2 years straight?
For absolutely ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
I get it. Now come out so I can stop talking about it. But here I am, it's out, and we're still talking about it. Still taking up space in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Deathloop. I don't have a PS5. I will play it once it comes to Xbox in the spring. Because I really like that studio that makes Deathloop, Arcane. They are a fantastic studio. I've loved all the Dishonored games, and Deathloop just looks like another Dishonored game. It has that same kind of style. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with you guys. It's whatever for best art. It looks like an Arcane game, so I guess they're just really good at making their games. But yeah, their art didn't stand out to me. The visual style of it doesn't really stand out to me.
It was the best in directing our attention away from other games. I just kept getting into our face.
It was the best distraction.
Yes.
Not wanted distraction.
Yeah,
not in a good way.
Just give the award to like the marketing firm for whoever.
Seriously.
For real.
Like, they did your work for you. And then fire them because I hate them.
Best sports racing game was Forza, which I feel like that's anytime a Forza game comes out, I feel like that's just kind of like just go ahead, just give it to me. We made a
It's
Forza
better
game,
than the next yearly game, so.
Yeah. I mean, I love Forza. I love racing games, and that is like the zenith of racing games is Forza. Like, they're amazing. What else we got here? Best family game, which is kind of funny to me, is It Takes Two, because I can see why, because it is a fun co-op game and it's a colorful, cartoony platformer. But the fact that it's just called Best Family Game and it's about a divorced parent, like parents that are divorcing, like it's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Best narrative. Wade, you can kind of talk about this a little bit since you're actively playing the game right now. Best narrative went to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of shocking to me because when the game was first announced and kind of shown off, I think it was like, at E3? It definitely did not scream, this is best narrative to me. It just looked like another, just kind of action adventure Marvel game. But I've
Yeah,
been hearing
like
nothing but really good things about it. I know it looks amazing, just the stills that I've seen.
Yeah,
But
oh my god, it's so pretty. Like the trailer showed a lot of the like high point action stuff.
yeah,
And a lot of that even is like the beginning-ish of the game. But it's everything between, like all the character stuff is just, it's just wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually the only category that I saw any sort of like division online for, was best narrative.
Do you recall the other people in that?
Oh yeah, I was one of them.
Oh, I mean other games.
Oh well, a lot of people wanted Psychonauts 2 to win, so
Oh yeah, right. They were up
Just-
there for a lot of stuff, weren't they?
yeah, Psychonauts
Yeah.
2 was nominated for a lot of categories. Sadly, they didn't get any actual awards, but I think just being recognized is cool as well if you're that studio. Double Fine. But for everything that I've heard about Psychonauts 2 and the messaging and like the overall point of that game, dealing with like mental health and stuff, like I just think that's a way grander concept, especially to tackle in a platformer. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Those things just need more
And-
time in the day. So
I understand this about myself, that I just don't like the Guardians of the Galaxy as characters or as anything really. So I know that, like I'm biased about really anything with that property. But I am, I guess it is cool to see that it wasn't just a total like cash grab bullshit, that Edios actually put some some attention to it and actually made looks like a really well crafted game. So
yeah,
Happy
well,
for-
I'll finish it up and I'll let you know.
yeah, happy for fans of that series. Happy for Marvel and your continued success or whatever. But still have zero fucks to give about anything Guardians. What else here? We got best game direction, Deathloop again. That one makes sense to me for that game, just based on the premise of the game being a whole time loop thing. It is sort of a cool idea. That's part of the reason why I do want to play it. So that makes sense. What else? Is there anything here that I'm missing? I've kind of hopped around. I'm skipping all the esports shit. If listeners, if you guys care about that, I'm sure there's an esports podcast for you out there. But none of us here really watch esports or know anything about it to have any sort of take or interest. So some of the other more like best accessibility, I'm pretty sure that also went to Forza as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. There's
So I'm really
also,
glad they have that category in there, though.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm also really glad that more studios are paying attention to accessibility options, because I've seen some more like recent games in the past year where like you boot up the game and then there's just like pages of just like accessibility stuff that you can toggle and change and alter, and like even with Halo Infinite, like there's like a whole, I feel like an almanac of like accessibility stuff in their menus that you can mess with, and I think that stuff's cool.
Very nice.
I keep it default, but there's a lot of people out there that appreciate the the ability to make alterations so everyone can enjoy these games. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Best mobile game also went to Genshin Impact. Wade, I'm pretty sure you predicted that. So
Yeah, not because I have any love for it. Like I've played it. I played it on the PlayStation, like when it came out, which was the same time I got COVID. When I was home for forever and like delirious and sick, it came out and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. But I couldn't during that time I couldn't focus on anything. I could not put any amount of energy into doing literally anything with my life.
Right.
So I didn't really keep playing it. But I have people who play it every single day, and they do all the big stuff. And I know it's huge, like just across the world.
Yeah.
So I was not shocked one single bit.
isn't it also playable?
But that's how it was.
Isn't that game also have either a PS4 or a PS5 or both like playable version? So
Yeah,
I
it's
played
on.
I played it
it's
on
on
the PS4.
PS4,
Yeah,
5,
it's
and
not-
mobile, and Epic Game Store, I think. Yeah, I
was
just
gonna say, so
downloaded
it's not-
it
Yeah,
on
it's
here.
like
yeah.
all over.
So it's kind of weird
Yeah.
that because it's not strictly a mobile game, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
to me,
it's
but-
it's not strictly. So I was, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
a lot of people do play it on mobile though. Like it's very big on the
Yeah.
mobile.
Well, I think it started mobile too, didn't it? Like that was the first thing it came to.
Oh, it was all released at once.
Oh, okay.
Except for the computer. It only came to the computer relatively recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, it dropped for PlayStation and mobile at the same time.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. I remember that because the whole shtick was like it was like cross save basically. Like you
Yeah.
could be playing on your PS4 and then pick up on your phone and keep playing your same. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. That's great for everyone who likes Genshin Impact. Yep.
I like how she pronounced it in the show. She pronounced it Genshin.
Oh yeah.
I got a really good chuckle out of that.
Couple other here. Most anticipated game, Elden Ring. I feel like Jeff Keighley just wrote that in because every show that he's done in the past 2 years has been like
It's
a
been
platform
Elden
to showcase Elden Ring. He ended.
What are they
Summer
going to
Game
do when it
Fest.
comes out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Got shut down the Game Awards. Can't talk
Yep.
about Elden Ring anymore.
We'll have to shut it down for 5 years until FromSoft
gosh.
comes out with their next game. Yeah, I did. It was cool that they released a story trailer, or what From Software calls a story trailer. It's essentially just like
Right.
all their games are like that. They're just like tone setters, but I love them. They're so good. I just love those cinematics. They're amazing.
Yeah, I still don't know a damn thing about the game.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to. I mean, it's.
I say that, but am I intrigued? Oh yes.
Every
No.
every
But yeah.
every
I'm
every
not still.
every FromSoft game, the story is told through like the items and stuff you find in the world. There's not like a character that's like tells you things. It's like you pick up a sword and you read its item description and you figure out all this like history and lore and everything. So it's a very interesting game to parse out, like all FromSoft games, besides Sekiro, which actually did have like a linear narrative. That was like their most easily accessible game, I guess, in terms of story. They actually had a main character and a dialogue and all that stuff. But the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne are very opaque. So, and I'm actually all for that because it makes it easy to kind of play it for a while and then take 2 years off and come back, and it's like I don't need to remember anything. So it's I'm super excited. It's probably one of my most anticipated games. I can't wait for it to get here. Give me some fucking Elden Ring. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
February 25th. We'll be here before you know it. So.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pretty crazy. I imagine I'll probably get it because I don't think I have any games that come out like around that time. So it's pretty.
Do you want to get it on your Xbox? We can play some co-op.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I'll think about it.
We'll talk offline. We'll
Okay.
take this offline.
I don't know. I might burn out my Xbox Series S putting it on there. I don't know.
I mean, it's a cross-gen game, so I can't imagine it is like that graphic intensive where it needs like a PS5 at this. So you'll be fine.
I was just looking at the collector's edition. It's like $180, but it looks
Oh.
so freaking cool. It's also sold out
No.
everywhere, but like,
Don't do
oh
it.
my god, it's so
If it
cool.
becomes available, don't do it.
Oh god, I won't. But it looks
I will
really
haunt
cool.
you.
Maybe we can split it.
We can give the statue to each other every week.
Yeah, we'll buy it for the podcast. It's a
Ew.
podcast expense.
She said no.
No.
Chelsea, you'll have to have it on your mantle for at least a third of the year. So
Okay, but you guys enjoy that game, I guess.
oh, I
See,
will.
Ethan and I get it for 2 days a week, and you get it for 3 days a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, such an honor.
That's chivalry right there.
Such. Oh gosh. But yes, definitely my most anticipated game ever.
You don't think the pot people are cool? I just want to hang around with
No.
pot people.
Like, I love how everybody's
what the
making a
heck
a
is
big thing about pot people when like it's a mimic. Mimics have been things for like 1,000 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in the dark,
It's a demon hiding in like a thing that you otherwise want to open. Like, yes, that's just
it was like
what
one of
it is.
it was like one of the best things in the Dark Souls games, where it's just like, there'd be a chest in the world, and you're like, oh, it's a chest. I'm gonna go open it up and get items or whatever, and you'd open it up, and it would just transform into this giant, horrendous monster, and it would kill you. And it was just like a way to be like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't just rush up to everything in the world thinking it's for me. So
Yeah.
I
learned
stuff.
that back when I was 7 playing Final Fantasy. So
Yeah.
treasure chest. Nope, it's a mimic, and I'm probably dead. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that stuff. So game of the year, the highest honor in the land, went to It Takes Two. So I recently
was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, me too. I recently started playing that game with my sister, and it is an absolute blast. I can see why everyone loves it and why it got Game of the Year. It's without spending too long waxing poetically about it. I would just say if you haven't played it, and if you have someone to play co-op with, because it's a co-op only game, I would not suggest playing it with people you don't know. It is amazing. It's a fun time. So yeah, Game of the Year.
Very nice.
So now let's get into some of the other stuff that they do in the show, like we talked about earlier. All the different announcements they had, world premieres, gameplay trailers, stuff for games that have already been announced. They had a couple film and television stuff in there. So I guess what we'll do here is I'll kind of just go down this list here, hit some of the bigger announcements, and then if you guys have any takes on it, we can take a moment. But I was surprised to see Telltale have an announcement that wasn't.
You mean having a pulse?
Well, I knew that they were still around because even though after all that restructuring and closing and all this other stuff, I knew that they were still, like, they survived it. But
I didn't know that. I thought they were donezo.
it was, I don't know, I can't remember all the nitty-gritty details, but basically they have a pulse. It's a faint one. But they were supposed to be working on A Wolf Among Us 2. So when Telltale comes out...
I thought that had got canceled.
Yeah, see, when they were
I thought
going
that
through
came
all
with
their,
the announcement that they were like, bye-bye.
like when they were going through all their
thought-
troubles, it was like, hey,
The
we're
troubles.
Telltale and we're making like 17 different like IPs into our games, and then they all went, tail up.
Oops.
But Wolf Among Us
Tail
was
up.
supposed to still be in development or consideration or whatever. Point is, that was not shown. Instead, it's Telltale version of The Expanse, which is that TV show on Sci-Fi. I have not watched it. I tend to not watch really anything on Sci-Fi. The cable network, not Sci-Fi like the genre. Are you guys familiar with that show at all?
I thought it was on
Nope.
Amazon.
I think Amazon probably owns it now, but I think it started on Sci-Fi
Okay.
Channel.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I've heard lots of things about it. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot
Yeah.
of things about it. But yeah, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, so definitely
Same.
yeah. But that's interesting that they're actually using one of the show characters. I want to say this takes place, I think didn't they say it takes place after like where the show like ended or is ending or something? Like it's not like some elsewhere thing. It's like a continuation of actual plot. I don't know. If there's Expanse fans listening in, you can pardon my ignorance. You can write in. So you can tell me all the things that I'm getting wrong about this. The interesting thing about that is Dramatic Labs, which is built up from a lot of actual Telltale developers, after they left Telltale, they announced Star Trek Resurgence, which is basically just a Telltale game, but Dramatic Labs, in the Star Trek universe. So it's kind of funny that Telltale's doing a sci-fi show, and then the ex-developers started their own company and is doing another sci-fi show. So it's kind of that's interesting to me. I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
Everyone.
I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I don't really get into the Telltale games so much. I've played a few of them. I've played Wolf Among Us. I've played the Batman one. I played a little bit of the first Walking Dead, and I don't know. It's just I appreciate what they're doing, and the writing and the choice and everything, the choose your own adventure style. But I don't know. It just I feel like after a while, it's just the same formula, just copy and paste with, insert entertainment property here. It just kind of gets tiresome, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So. But I love Star Trek, so I don't know. We'll see how this one turns out. Another game that's sort of in that same vein, just based on the developer, Quantic Dream, who's been rumored to be working on a Star Wars game. It was announced. Star Wars Eclipse. Chelsea, I know you've played some Quantic Dream games. You played their last one, didn't you? You played, was it Human Beyond...
Detroit
Androids.
Become Human.
Yeah. Yeah, I was close.
That was really, really good. No, but I mean, that trailer was great for the Star Wars Eclipse. That was a cool trailer.
I mean, it was pretty, but like I was like, what is
I mean, that game is supposed to be in basically like pre-development stages right now, because it's like they just got that license apparently within like, I don't know, the last year, if the rumors are right. So it's definitely in the earliest of early stages. So that was more just kind of like a concept tone setter, basically. Like, hey,
it said this is not gameplay.
Yeah,
it's not gameplay footage.
Yeah,
it definitely was intriguing though. But I think Quantic Dream though, I like Detroit Become Human. That is a very nice looking game. And it also has an amazing story, so I'm looking forward to seeing whatever they do with the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
that's the same people who did like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, right?
Yeah, it's David Cage.
See, I really liked those two, but I haven't played Detroit yet. I have it. It was like a PlayStation Plus game, I think, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I've only played Heavy Rain. I really liked it. I didn't play Beyond Two Souls, and I haven't played Detroit. This kind of the same thing with like Telltale, is these games just kind of become tedious with me, and I just kind of lose interest in them, and especially as long as they are and as like labyrinthine they can get with your choices in the story, it becomes to be even more ponderous for me to want to push through it. So maybe a Star Wars license will help, because it's an IP that I know and I love. So we'll see. I would rather have another Knights of the Old Republic if we're gonna do like long form Star Wars games, but
I mean, it's coming.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
coming.
I'd want it before Eclipse.
Well,
also, I guess it should
KOTOR
be...
is coming before Eclipse, so you'll get your wish. it is coming.
It should be known that this takes place in High Republic era, which is that new, the new era they've created that takes place, I guess, after Old Republic, but before Republic.
Usual Star Wars in a galaxy far away, long time ago.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I'm not familiar with the High Republic. I haven't read the books. I haven't engaged with any of that expanded universe stuff. I haven't really engaged with most of the expanded universe stuff since they retconned the other expanded universe stuff when Disney took over. So kind of just, I don't know. So I don't know. You guys haven't done any of the High Republic stuff, have you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's fairly new. I want to say it's like within the last like year or so.
Oh, then absolutely not.
Yeah. So what about Sonic Frontiers?
Dope. I'm ready. I like Sonic a lot, but it's pretty rare that I actually buy a new Sonic game. But this one, okay, open world Sonic game. It'd probably be still some kind of a mess, but the people behind it, like the story writer and like the developers and stuff for this one, they have a lot of big stuff that they've done and like big stories that they've worked on. So it's about time that somebody took over a Sonic game that actually knows how to write a damn story.
Who's taking over?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Or what's some of the?
I don't remember his names. I don't remember because I don't remember the guy. I was reading an article about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's this person with a team of these people," and they had like a link to like IMDb or something, and I was just like, "Oh, okay,
Interesting.
yeah." But we'll see. It's at the end of the day, it is a Sonic game.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited, but whether they get my money or not is a different thing.
Yeah, it is. Sonic's definitely for one that needs. I feel like every game they try to do a different direction and to see if something works, and it usually never does. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see with this
Indeed.
one. So yeah, I would like to have a good Sonic, like a good 3D Sonic, because besides the 2D Sonic games, I feel like they haven't really had a good 3D one. Besides maybe Colors, there seems to be some fanfare for that one. So I don't know. What else we got here? Something that I was completely caught off guard with, and I got super excited about, is the Wonder Woman game being developed by Monolith. If you guys aren't familiar with Monolith, they made the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, like the Lord of the Rings third-person action games. They're the one they created that Nemesis system, which no one's been able to replicate since. So, I think I saw a thing that it's rumored that Wonder Woman would also use a version of the Nemesis system in her game, which would be cool as hell. So, I'm pretty excited to see Monolith doing something outside of the Lord of the Rings franchise. And I've always said a Wonder Woman game would be fucking cool. I want to tie up some dudes and just like interrogate them with my truth lasso. So yeah, I have high hopes for that game. Another one that got me excited. I know you guys probably are not going to care about this one at all, but the creator of Silent Hill and the composer for the Silent Hill is doing a game called Slitterhead. That game looks absolutely horrifying. I love it. I'm all about that shit. Like, it reminds I love games like that because it can take they can just get really wacky with some of the creature designs, and this game definitely looks like they are leaning into the wacky, so I'm all for that. Continue the horror renaissance there, so that's cool to see. Does anyone want to talk about Forspoken? This was that game that was like it had it was like Project Athia was like its code name, and it got announced as Forspoken at E3, I want to say. And then they kind of gave us a little bit more like story details and some gameplay in this one. What do you guys think of this game? I want to say it's PS5 only, right?
I think that's
that
right.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I get a little more intrigued. It looks so pretty, but like the combat looks so good too.
Yeah.
And like what little of we've seen of the cast, like they look pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So it might be a game that I end up picking up. I don't know yet.
It looks like to me it looks like what I want Final Fantasy to be. And it's you know what I mean? In terms of like gameplay, like that's like that more like kind of fast action, using magic, stuff like that, and less of like the slower kind of more JRPG kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. I don't know what engine it's built on, but ever since it was shown off, it looks amazing. So I want to say that's Square Enix as well. So if it's Square Enix, it's probably most definitely a exclusive to PlayStation. So it's kind of just how that stuff works usually.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about that game. I definitely am waiting to hear more about it, but obviously I don't have a PS5, so I couldn't play it anyway.
Yeah,
but
same. I don't have a PS5, so that's here we are.
But this, the gameplay, or the combat looks great, and knowing more about the story makes it even more intriguing. So I hope this game does well, and I'm curious to see.
It's also just good. It's also just good to see more like new IP being created, as opposed, because this could have easily just been like Final Fantasy 17 and be like, yep, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like it's and it would have been just got as much fanfare. Yeah, I'm just glad to see something new from established studios. Something that's not new, but that was shocking that it was announced, was Alan Wake 2. That was pretty much always fairly known that there would never be a legitimate sequel to Alan Wake. Like they did like American Nightmare, which was sort of like a spin-off expansion kind of deal. But a full-on sequel, like Chris Lake for years was always talking about how it's not going to happen, it's never going to happen, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's happening. So here we are. It looks amazing. I love that they said that they're leaning into the more survival horror. That's right in my realm. Like, bring it to me. It looks awesome. I think they're having Jake Gyllenhaal play the role, the lead character. So that's interesting. What else we got here? Oh yes, they showed off gameplay for Suicide Squad, finally. And I don't care.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
It looks like exactly what I thought that game was, and that's exactly what I don't want to play.
I still don't know what kind of game it is, to be honest. Like I saw the gameplay, but it was like, here's some combat mixed with like some cutscenes. Like I don't know what kind of game it is.
It definitely is 100%. It's just going to be this, drop in, drop out, 4-person co-op action game, with probably light upgrade system, upgrade tree, like think like a Borderlands or, but not first person. You know what I mean? Like that kind of game. Any game that looks like it's basically designed to be played with a lot of players, where it's like there's four characters here. They all have different play styles. They all kind of feed off one another, yada yada. Games like that are kind of designed to be played with 4 people, I automatically just hate, because I don't have 4 fucking people to play these games with, and they usually are never as good when you play them by yourself.
Right.
That's part of the reason why I never gave a shit about Marvel's Avengers, because like these like big party games, that they're better with like more players, your Destinies, stuff like that. Like it's just kind of hard to get into them when they're clearly designed to be played with like groups of people, or so. And this is also another IP that I just don't give a shit about. Like Suicide Squad is basically DC's Guardians of the Galaxy, so I don't care about these characters. I know it's Rocksteady. I know they said that it's staying within the Arkham universe, but I don't know. It's not a Batman game, so I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So I'd rather.
I'm about halfway there. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I love the Arkham games.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Arkham games. Rocksteady did an amazing job with that trilogy. I get it that they want to move on. Nobody wants to keep doing the same thing over and over. But I wish they would have picked literally any other DC property to do besides Suicide Squad. Like, the game is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Why don't you just flip it around and let us play as the Justice League and kill the fucking Suicide Squad? Like, I would buy that. I would day one pre-order that game. All right, so some other gameplay that was shown off was for Horizon Forbidden West. Chelsea, I know you're really into this series. What do you think of that gameplay?
I think it looks great. I think they've really improved the mechanics and everything. I think there's some really cool ideas for it. I'm super excited. So I mean, that's all I can say.
Does it make you want to buy a PS5? I know it's on PS4,
I mean,
but come on. It's a
yeah.
PS5 game.
I mean, I'll probably play it on the PS4 for now, but who knows? Maybe no. I'm not gonna get a PS5 anytime soon.
I don't think anyone is, because it's still like one of the hardest things to get. So
yeah, but I'm excited for that game, and I look forward to.
Yeah,
I'm just in love with the music. The music of that game. Oh my god!
I don't really remember the music in the first one at all. Like, it was just kind of, I don't know. I guess it didn't really.
Wow.
I've played that whole game. I don't really remember the music being like. I'm sure it was good. Like, I probably would have remembered it if it was terrible. So, so yeah, I get. But that game looks so colorful and so pristine. I love some of the new like robot dinosaur creature things that they've designed, like a giant robotic snake dragon thing, and like, yeah, that game looks impressive. So I will not be playing it on PS4. My PS4, I'm pretty sure, is essentially a paperweight at this point because it is constantly crashing. So
sad. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a game I'll play in 3 to 5 years when I get a PS5. So, but I do want to play it. It does look really, really good. That Decima engine that Gorilla is using is still just some of the best looking tech out there. I just saw that Sony got the patent for the Decima engine from Death Stranding, actually, for like the ability to kind of have like social created like terrain alteration and stuff like that. That was really big in Death Stranding. So it's cool that I guess Sony has that now, but it kind of sucks that no one else can use that tech moving forward, because that is a really interesting concept. But anyways, that Decima engine is fucking the bee's knees. So we'll go from a really big, gorgeous game with a lot of money behind it to talk about some of these smaller, like more indie titles that were announced or shown off or premiered. Chelsea, why don't you take the reins on this one?
Sure. I don't know which one I should start with first. I guess Nightingale was one of them. I honestly am still honestly not sure what the game is really about, but the trailer was really fun and cool. It was that like Victorian era mixed with some like fantasy elements. There was some not really time travel, post-apocalyptic. Also, I thought it was really funny, almost a majority of the characters in that trailer were female, and so at first I was like, are we gonna get this like female team of Victorian era people that like fighting zombies and stuff? But
it seems like they took a bunch of things and it's like the melting pot of video game tropes. It's just like a word generator of things and games. It's like, all right, let's just slap all this on a whiteboard and let's make this a game.
Well, it was working for me, but I think it's more of a crafting game, like a survival crafting. So I'll be curious to see what the actual gameplay is in the future, but that trailer definitely intrigued me. We'll see if it keeps me hooked.
Yeah, keep us posted when this game continually evolves into first-person shooter slash space sim slash whatever.
I was like, I saw like, I was like, oh, you can like craft your own little like settlement thingy, and then that asshole came and like stepped on a building, and I was like, no. Like, you had me until that. No, go to hell. I don't want to do that. I do not create just to destroy. That's not how I do my life.
Yeah.
Wade, what about Thirsty Suitors? That's basically just a Scott Pilgrim game, essentially.
I don't even remember that. I don't remember that one at all.
That was the one. Was that was in the pre-show?
I was gonna say, I think it might have actually been in the pre-show.
Yeah, maybe in a pre-show.
Okay, there you
the
go.
only one
Because
who
I didn't watch the pre-show. So
yeah, Thirsty
okay,
Suitors.
Well, I'll go look at it. I guess. Are you just trying to make fun of me? Is that what you're doing here?
No. It's straight up like it's 100%
No.
a Scott Pilgrim game.
So when you say that, like, is it like the Scott Pilgrim game? That's like a old school.
Well, no, I
fighter
guess.
Thingy?
I guess
fighter.
Spin on it.
I guess since Scott Pilgrim does actually have a brawler game, no, it's not a brawler.
Oh,
it's
okay.
just the same concept as Scott Pilgrim, where but instead of a guy, it's a girl, and she's just fighting all her exes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, it's a turn-based game.
Yeah, the art design and the style is like really cool. I was totally digging it. It might be something that I check out if it's something, if it's like one of those things that like some of these like indie games will show up on Game Pass, and I'll give them a whirl. So.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
I see. I'm looking at some stuff right here. No, I'll definitely be watching this video when we're done. With the
Yeah,
podcast.
it's pretty ridiculous, but I was all for it.
Oh, you know how I like ridiculous.
Yeah. Chelsea, what's this other one you got here?
This other one, I honestly don't know how it's pronounced. If it's pronounced like Chia, something like that. It's TCHIA. This was probably one of my favorite games that was shown at the Game Awards. I saw a trailer, I'm pretty sure, for this a couple months back on Twitter.
Oh, this
And
one.
It's so charming.
Oh my god! Yeah,
It's
I watched the trailer again, like during the Game Awards, because they showed it like a ways back. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Whenever it was, but I was just like, oh my god! Every time I see this, I just want to play this game more.
I know.
Oh, so this is just like this is Wind Waker, basically.
No, I see why you say that.
I literally pulled up a Game Informer article, and the cover photo they have is this girl on this like makeshift boat in the middle of the ocean sailing. I'm like, oh yeah, Wind Waker.
And it's also just exploring an island, this little girl, and she can also, like, I don't know, take over the souls of different objects or animals. Then you can kind of temporarily play as an object or an animal.
Yeah, like they had me, like, I was okay, like, oh, she's transferring herself into like the frogs or the birds and stuff, and then she transferred her soul into a lantern.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's a cool concept until that happened, and I was like, okay, I'm still on board, but now I'm lost. I'm lost. Also, you can play a ukulele. Like, you can legitimately play the ukulele. Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. It's Ocarina of Time all over again.
So yeah, it just looks fun, just, looks lighthearted, very charming, exploration, just, it sold me. I can't wait till this game comes out. It's supposed to come out sometime this spring.
That's a Chelsea game. It's a Chelsea game.
Yes. Well, Wade seems intrigued too, so maybe it's a Chelsea Wade game.
I forgot that's the name of it, so I googled it really quick, and like my serotonin is coming rushing in again. So no, we're fine. No, I'm here for it. I'm right there.
Yes.
Freaking right there.
Yeah, I think it's a PS4, PS5 Epic Games.
I'm wish listing it right now on Steam. So.
Yes. So I don't forget playing that on the PS4.
This is just so I know
back
when
to
it
everybody
comes
later.
Out,
moving from a game that is totally for you guys to a game that is 1,000% for me is they showed off gameplay finally for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, and holy shit, did it look amazing.
I guess so.
I literally watched it like 5 times in a row. I was like, this is fantastic.
It looked pretty, but like it didn't look fun.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not like a.
Or-
This isn't.
or
This
like-
is this is this
or
is about as far
interesting.
away from Chia as you guys can get.
Well, like it didn't even look interesting.
Have you
Like-
played? Did you guys?
I
have
agree
you?
with you, Wade.
Have you
No,
guys played?
I haven't played the other one,
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe that's
okay.
why. But I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Boring.
I just a question mark the whole time.
They
I was just like, is this almost over with?
Seriously,
Sorry.
I was just like,
the first game
Yeah,
is
keep going.
the whole I guess series premise is like very much about the psychological effects of like mental health in terms of like schizophrenia. Like your character basically is hearing multiple people talking in her head all the time that are telling her to do things, pointing things out, telling her things that she like positive and negative. The first game was actually got a lot of acclaim because it was kind of developed in tandem with actual like psychologists to make sure that it was more accurate to how this stuff happens with actual patients that have this. And it's fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to, especially if you play this game with a headset, because it's kind of like having 1,000 people just like yelling out random things and all these different like tones and telling you all these different things and telling you what to do and what you shouldn't do, and it's pretty it's not a happy fun time.
Interesting.
frankly, it doesn't sound like it. And
Yeah,
to people
it's-
who already have those problems, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I play games to get away from that. Why would I want to go back into that willingly?
Yeah. This is definitely this is more like kind of like in film where people like their popcorn films to like turn their brain off, and then there's people that like watching movies that make them feel bad about themselves. You know, like
Well, no, I
this
get
is-
that. Like,
this is like the
that's
gaming
different, though.
equivalent of like of that, where like this is more of a game that's more you're appreciating it for what it's trying to do and what you're trying to experience, and not necessarily like have fun doing it.
Well, I feel
It's
like
more-
this is a game for people who don't already experience those things.
Yeah, I definitely
Like,
don't experience
for people who
schizophrenia.
like deal with those things, no.
This is more like walking a mile in their shoes, and it's just like, holy shit, this is horrifying.
Yeah, like no, I'm not. No, I'm fine with that.
It's also-
you all can keep that.
The second thing with Ninja Theory is kind of they're kind of the Guerrilla Games, so to speak, for I guess Xbox catalog, where they are very much all about pushing the envelope in terms of tech. And the idea of like that entire like troll thing that you're fighting was all just like kind of the way it was developed and how they used like AI machine learning and all the like nuts and bolts, stuff of how these games are made and how it kind of just pushes the industry forward. Like that's another reason why I really like Ninja Theory and like the stuff they do, because it's very unique in that realm, where it's very much just like we're trying to do stuff that has never been done before. Now granted, it's on like a geeky tech side of things, but still, like that game looks like it can't get here soon enough for me. Like I love that shit. You guys can transfer your souls into lanterns or whatever, and I'll have people yelling in my head to kill a troll man. So,
Okay.
We all have our different things. We'll,
Yep, have fun with
I'll
that.
take mine.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it for a lot of the highlight stuff. There was other things as well, but those are kind of just like some of the bigger bullet points. There was some. They revealed the trailer for 2022's film of the year, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah. I was like
That'd be
on
fun.
my feet during that trailer. Dude, like if you haven't seen the Sonic movie, it is so good. I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out on a good time.
I don't know if I would say I don't know if I would say so good, But
It is.
when your expectations were as low as mine, watching and coming out the other end, going, yeah, okay, that was
Like it's a kid's character movie that's
Yeah.
not like some disgusting ripoff of the actual thing, Like
yeah,
it's good. Like it's unique to itself, and the rest of the stuff doesn't matter. So the fact that like Tails and Knuckles are in it now, and like
Yeah.
Eggman's like Dr. Robotnik's like new design, like oh my god.
yeah, and the fact that I'm pretty sure Tails is actually voiced by the person who does Tails for the games,
Yes,
so
indeed.
so that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
You can't have Tails if it's not Tails.
Who's doing Knuckles again? That was announced
Idris
a while
Elba.
back. Yeah, that's right, Idris Elba.
He was like, yeah, people were like making fun of him on Twitter, and he was just like, "No, my Knuckles voice will not be sexy. Leave me alone." And everybody watched that trailer and like, "You liar!" I'm so freaking prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks. It looks like more Sonic. Yeah, that first film was better than it probably had any right to be. But it was a film. It exists. It's fine for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing they showed off is they showed a trailer for Paramount Plus's Halo TV series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Halo homer, and I still just don't. I fear that if I got excited for this, I would ultimately be let down. So I don't want to get excited for it. I remember back in the day when Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp were supposed to make a Halo film.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
And I was like, and I remember, oh wow, this is going to be the best thing ever. And well, it's like 10 years now, and we still never had like a true Halo. Like there's been like a couple like side thing, like they did small things here and there, and they've never really been good. And then seeing this trailer, I still just think, I'm like, yeah, it's just, I don't think this is going to be good. I don't know. What do you guys... Chelsea, I know you don't know anything about Halo or care, but just in terms
I have opinions on it.
But, well, yeah, in terms of like being
How dare you?
Well, I'm saying like you've never played any of the games or anything because you
Yes,
hate
I
Xbox.
know.
So, but in terms of TV series, like, is this something that you would tune into? Is this something you would subscribe to Paramount Plus for? Is this like their hit thing?
No, not for me. I hope that, it's a show that will surprise you, Ethan. I hope it's, the show of your dreams. But unfortunately to me, for Halo, because I know how much you love Halo and everything, but I think the trailer, this showed to me was that they tried to put the absolute prettiest looking shots or like Vegas shots in the trailer so you can't see what the real show is going to be about. They just want to get you super hyped so that you'll subscribe. And then when you watch the show and then you realize this is not really up to that same quality. Like maybe the story is really good, but I think graphically and stuff, it might be.
Yeah, I was gonna say even
not
some
as-
of the like grandiose like vistas that they showed, looked pretty low budget to me. It looks like CBS and Paramount don't even have a whole lot of faith in this, or whoever's producing it. I just know it's on Paramount Plus, because it's still just it looks just as low budget as those other things that have already come out, like Forward Onto Dawn and that thing with Locke before Halo 5 came out. I understand why, in a marketing standpoint, with your very first like teaser or trailer, that you don't want to kind of give away everything. But the fact that I didn't get to see, from a production standpoint, what the Covenant looked like, like I just in my mind cynically know that they probably look like shit. So. Just based on like how the rest of the show looks, it just doesn't look. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a premium show to me. If that makes it looks like something I would see on like cable. So
Oh, that's what it is. So
yeah, like this isn't something that's going to sell that streaming service to me. This isn't their this isn't their like Game of Thrones or their, or you know, insert whatever big property. It just doesn't look super great. Wade, what do you think? You've played Halo. You are engrossed in that universe. What are your thoughts?
I'm not. I don't have Paramount Plus, and I'm probably not going to get it regardless.
Yeah.
But like, if I had it, I would watch it. I know I'd watch it and be like, is it worth my time? Just to kind of like see it. But again, I don't. It's not going to make me get Paramount Plus, so.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I don't have it either, and you know, all these streaming services, especially the new ones, the new kids on the block, they're all trying to find that thing that gets people to sign up, and I don't think this is that thing. So.
For sure.
So yeah. Hopefully it's good. I want it to be good. I know, you know, a lot of people work on it. It's been in development hell for I don't know, forever process. So yeah, I would like to see success in it, but for me as a fan, I don't know, it doesn't interest me, and yeah, that's that's just kind of, it's just whatever.
wait and see.
Yeah, I rather just play Halo Infinite. You know, rather just play the games. Keep making games because they're good. Keep making good games. I don't need mediocre shows. So keep games and gaming and do something else. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the last thing. So with all that said and done, before we cut out of here, out of the whole show, what was the thing, you know, that stood out to you the most, that you like, your favorite thing of the show, we'll say? Wade, we'll start with you. What was the best thing from Jeffrey Keighley's 2021 Game Awards?
Jeffrey.
What was your highlight?
When it ended and I got to go to sleep.
Wow.
Frankly, if I had to pick something from it, I would frankly say the Sonic stuff.
Yeah.
Because nothing else, I was like, oh, look at that, or like I was completely not expecting that. There wasn't anything like that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Seeing Final Fantasy win best ongoing or whatever, like that was good. But no, it's the Sonic stuff.
All right.
Can't believe
Chelsea.
I just said that, but hey.
Well, you like what you like, so there you go.
You're right. That's
Hey, I like Sonic too.
That's
I want a good Sonic game. You know, I was a Sega kid.
Oh yeah.
I want a good Sonic game. It's about time. So hopefully this one pans out for him. I'm what's underneath cautiously optimistic. What's that? What's the bar below that? That's kind of where I've always sat. That's kind of where I've been sitting for about 20 years now. So with Sonic.
That's fair.
So, Chelsea, what about you?
Well, I think I kind of mentioned earlier, but the game Chia, that was the one that was the most charming part of the show for me. I'm looking forward to that game. I think it just looks fun. Yep.
Okay.
That's me.
So fair.
Like I said, I didn't watch the show live. I did it piecemeal. So, hearing you guys talk about the show, that honestly seems like the best way to go about it. So you just watch what you want to watch and move on. But yeah, the thing that I watched like over and over was Hellblade. I just kept wanting to like watch that thing. I thought it was amazing. In terms of like surprising things, honestly, that Wonder Woman announcement was pretty fucking cool. I'm excited for that. I really like Monolith as a studio, and I think it's about time that an iconic character like Wonder Woman gets her own fucking game. So, you know, we can get the Batmans and the Spider-Mans and all that shit out of the way, and let's get some new IP in here, new characters in here. Mm-hmm. You know, give me some other superhero games. So, pretty excited for that. So yeah, that was That was Jeffrey Keighley's Game Awards. But yeah, I don't know. I thought they had better announcements. That I had pretty low expectations, honestly, for the announcements. I didn't think there would be as many, but I also didn't think that there would be as many shocking ones. There were pretty interesting announcements, so that was pretty cool. The winners pretty much kind of went the way I sort of expected for the most part. So all the nominations. So so yeah, that's that. So moving forward, listeners, our next episode will be our holiday episode. So we told you that we weren't going to do a whole themed month, but we're just going to do a themed episode. So yeah, next episode we're going to be talking all about Christmas stuff. So stay tuned for that. If you're a new listener, hopefully you like the show. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. And check us out on social platforms like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at PodDemastered. And then if you want to send us in any comments or questions, we can read those on the show. And that email is demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, so stay tuned for next week, Christmas time at Podcast Demastered.
Ho, ho, ho.
All right, see you later, guys.